And welcome back to Bricks and Blocks. This is Rob showing you the hospital I've been working on. Kind of started from the ground up on a large base plate. As you can see, the construction guys are working pretty hard. Here's John. The guy's always hanging out there on the big beam, telling everybody else what to do. Kind of like a boss. I've got the workstation for the nurses set up here. They're working on the second floor now, which is the ICU. I changed the bed designs a little bit, and crane is just all in the way. It's just taking all the shot. There's the lobby. There's Jerry. Jerry's working down there. The hospital's not open yet, so Jerry's job is to let everybody know you can wait in the waiting room. Got construction equipment everywhere, lamps in the corners there. Have to work on some lighting. There's the construction of the elevator shaft coming together. Slowly, don't fall down there. Be careful. OSHA's watching. Everybody got their hard hats on. They don't have the personal fall protection equipment, but they are Lego. They are different. Got the crane set up. You can see the Lego hospital set in the background there. And this is the beginning of the second floor. The bays are still under construction for the ambulances. Whole lot of Legos in the background. There's my storage drawers in the background. Also, you can look and see guys are taking a break with Mountain Dew. Can't go wrong. Not sponsored. I'm not using their copyright, but who doesn't love Mountain Dew? And of course, the guys stopped all construction to get the pizza truck when it showed up. And this is a couple little shots of the actual hospital room upstairs. And this is working on the ambulance bay. Ta-da! Had no time to leave the wrist. Yes. So we got roll-up doors for the ambulance. And the ambulance that comes with the last Lego set is too wide because of the mirror, so it can only go out the other side. It won't work with any other roll-up doors. There's a small waiting area inside the ICU area. And back to the nurses' station. Got little crash carts, respirators, the alarm systems on top of the beds. Really kind of happy with the color coding of the seats and the beams. That seemed to work out pretty nice. Blue seats, blue beams. Yellow seats, yellow beams, OCD. Back to the elevator shaft. That's the new bed design with the raised monitors over the heads. And then access to and from the elevator. And a couple of fire extinguishers in the hallway there. A little mobile crash cart. Top view. This is a top view of the third floor, which I just finished tonight. Well, for the most part, it's finished. It's almost finished. It's always a W.I.P. work in progress, but that's the nurse's station for the unit upstairs. There's also phlebotomy and small trauma units. There's a waiting area here, so that's the tunnel you come out of the elevator shaft right there. And you turn right, as you cannot turn left. And you'll bring you right to the nurse's station and the waiting room area. Curved glass, seats are color coordinated. Red in the front, little monitors turn to swivel, chairs swivel. There's lights over the nurse's station itself. And then you can look through the window, much like a bird or a moth would do. Or maybe not a moth, but a bird at least. At least a bird. Then you can see some flowers on top of the nurse's station. And there's a small map, a couple of computer terminals, a microscope over there in the corner with the yellow siding on it. And looking back out into the waiting room and the nurse's station with a little Art Deco arch over it. And got the gray level, smoothing everything off on the top for the next level. And I'm still working on the next level. I haven't gotten there yet, but this is the third level of the hospital already. Exterior lighting for security and safety. And they're angled. They came off the soccer sets from a long time ago. People probably remember those. Some of the monitors are actually from my classic space stuff for sets, and the sloped printed design And there's beds, there's little oxygen sensors, there's warning lights, there's a red phlebotomy chair here, and there's a blue phlebotomy chair on the other end. This is not political, it's not red and blue state, it just happens to be Lego colors are red, blue, yellow, and green. Keep going. But that's the big chairs I have, so there's a small microscope, and small terminals there for the workstation, and little black pillowcases on the pillows just to give it some contrast. See, too much gray and white can be a bad thing sometimes. And rotating everything around, each little wall has a repeating pattern with the oxygen sensor on one side, and the red stripe worked out good on the side there of that wall. Kind of give it a little hospital look. Let's have to put some up and down arrows on the elevator door there. But it's really coming along nicely. I've really enjoyed building this one. It's one of my larger builds. I do a lot of small stuff, but this hospital has kind of taken on a life of its own. Used a lot of parts I probably wouldn't have used otherwise, and did glass supports for the Art Deco arch there, and put some flowers on top of the nurse's station. This is back to the second floor, and the second floor, I really like the ICU, the way all the colors came together instead of just going stark white or stark gray, kind of breaking everything up and separating it into two halves with the dark gray plate down the middle, putting the red on the top to smooth everything off for the next level to lock onto. The monitors came out pretty good over the beds and the oxygen tanks. Several people have made some really nice comments on some of the other videos done with the hospital. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. This is probably the most relaxing thing I do, is just build with Legos. It's very relaxing. I don't really think about a lot. I don't have really a lot of problems in life, but I mean, this is just one of the most relaxing things I've ever done, is just kick back and build and use a little bit of imagination and tons of Legos. And I happen to have tons of Legos and a little bit of imagination, so it kind of balances out nicely. Now, the curved pieces are real hard to come by in the colors I want. I don't have a lot of white ones or blue transparent, so a friend of mine, Jacob, told me to alternate the pattern on first and second floors, and it actually worked out pretty nicely. Great idea there, Jacob. My friend who's also a master builder. He's actually the first person to call me a master builder. I didn't even know I was a master builder until Jacob told me, and he's never lied to me yet, so he must be telling the truth. Crash carts, I kind of modified the one that came in the set, the little blue one there, to my red and white ones around the left and right of the main pillars. Kind of copied a little bit what they did, but went in my own direction, which is basically, I think, what Lego wants you to do, is look at what they do and then either modify it or improve it, or disprove it, and do your own thing. These are wings off exosuits. The white wings in there covering up the lights for the ambulance bay. And again, the mirrors on the ambulance bay, it's so big that you can't even get the roll-up through the roll-up doors. So a lot of vented bricks here to simulate ventilation going on, either air conditioning or heat. And those are my little lamp designs for the corners. I'm going to put some more upstairs in the waiting room. And I got two on the end here of the waiting room on the second floor. And there's those little white wings again that put two together to make one long arch, supporting the light canopy for the ambulance bay. Got two ambulance bays. There's two gray ventilation fans to make sure all the exhaust fumes get out. Keep everybody healthy in the hospital. And there's glass there to protect the fumes from going into the hospital. Yes, OSHA will be so proud. And the EPA, always looking out for you. Yeah, not so much. Here's my friend Stacy. She's in the hospital, and she spends some time in the hospital every now and then, and so she's kind of happy about the staff there. They're very three-dimensional rather. And she says everything's nice except for that blonde, snarky nurse. I don't know what that means, but Stacy has sayings like that, so I have to kind of listen to her. Known Stacy for many moons. And Then looking at the back side of the ICU here with the waiting room, let's see if I can incorporate some lights in here. Because every time I put another floor level on and try to look through the windows, you kind of lose a lot of the light. And I didn't want to take anything off the original hospital that I bought from the Lego set. I wanted to kind of build my own, but look at the color schemes and look at the, where they had it laid out. And I always like enclosing things. I know Lego likes to leave it open so you could play, and you can still play in here, not as much, but I'm just kind of OCD about making sure everything closes together and locks together. And really like the roll-up doors. I know this is like the third or fourth time I've showed you. They haven't changed, but they're just fun to use. And the little guy drives out, and the little guy drives back in, and the roll-up doors go back down. Got little lamps protruding out over the ambulance bay. And you actually see the glass go right back down in the track there. And it's down to the front. Love the color scheme though. The blue worked out pretty good. And then looking here, we've got the top part, which is the third floor. And looking through the second floor, there's that snarky blonde nurse in the back there. She's trouble, I'm telling you right now. You can feel it. Then you look at the back side here of the ICU ward, and then coming around to an overall front view. I'll make those red beams spell out the letter H for hospital. So just a matter of getting it completed, but more exterior lighting here for security. And you can see the standard hospital in the background there on the left. So mine's to the third floor. And I figure I'm going to make one more floor. Make it 4 floors tall. There's the side view of the ambulance bay. And of course I'm going to have a landing platform for the helicopter up top. And the elevator should go all the way up to bring the injured in by hospital life flight to the hospital, down to the emergency room or down to one of the rooms to stay in the hospital. This is again bricks and blocks. This is I think it's the longest video I've done so far. I've really enjoyed the whole layout of the hospital. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them. I take constructive criticism as well as anybody else. And it's a lot of fun. If you find something you love to do, enjoy it, share it, bring a smile to somebody's face. Doesn't hurt. And at the same time, you're getting a whole bunch of ideas out of your head. Blonde, snarky nurse. Gotta name her. Do I have a Penelope? No, that's not very snarky. Roseanne. There you go. Roseanne. That's kind of snarky. Now I'm going to have somebody watch this and say, my name's Roseanne. I'm not snarky. Well, not judging. Just a little comedy. Evidently, very little. So that is the hospital at this point. It's still a work in progress, and I've seen some other people's hospitals, and they look amazing. Mine is just kind of coming together slowly. But the whole thing is, have fun. Enjoy what you do. Largest build I've done so far. Won't be the last build. By far. It's going to add to my city. I'm going to have a lot of room to put this in the city. And I'm going to have to work on lighting because I do like the fact of the multiple levels, but once you move the 2 ambulances out of the way here and slide them back left and right, you can see the waiting room on the first floor, and I still have room. I could do some more stuff on the first floor. Thought maybe an x-ray station or maybe a small lab, or maybe I'll do that on the 4th floor. But back to the roll-up doors. I've used the roll-up doors quite a bit. Had them from police stations and fire stations, so I have plenty of roll-up doors to use. Luckily that didn't fall into the floor. That would have been loud. And so you can look in, there's windows to see up into the ICU waiting room right there. And then you can see there's 2 windows here on this side and on the other side of the doorway. I think I'll make a sliding door here. And that way you'd have a way to keep all the exhaust fumes out of the lobby area where the drop-off is. And then right around the corner there is the elevator shaft where they can take them up to the other floors. But this is the hospital. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like and share. And this is Bricks and Blocks. Rob telling you to have a great evening. And thanks for watching.